Have you ever wondered how much your thoughts weigh? If you could put your thoughts on a scale, how much would they weigh? For the immortal scientists, this is a crucial question. If you have ever performed an affirmation or visualization exercises, this is an important question for you. Scientists know the amount of mass an object has and the gravity field it exists in creates weight. Mars has 62% less gravity than Earth. So, someone weighing 100 pounds on Earth would tip the scales at 38 pounds on Mars. Would this mean that consciousness and our thoughts would have 1/3 the weight on Mars? How about meditation and prayer? Would they only have 1/3 the potency? Fortunately, there's more to gravity than meets the eye. The immortal scientist thinks of gravity in two ways: the gravity well you exist within, such as Earth, and your own internal gravity. Let's explore exactly what mankind knows about gravity. In the old Newtonian model, gravity is a force that pushes you down towards the ground. However, modern-day science understands that gravity is geometry-based, meaning the fabric of space itself is deformed by the Earth, creating a gravity well, so we continuously fall towards the Earth. Otherwise stated, the fabric of space bends when reacting to mass. With this understanding, we can delve deeper into the relationship between gravity, energy, and consciousness. Everything in the universe is made from energy, including mass. In fact, mass is just energy in form. So your thoughts have mass because they are energy in form. Even consciousness must have energy in form. And for anything to have form or shape, there must be angles, curves, or lines. Otherwise said, the bending, folding, warping of energy assist in creating mass. Your thoughts, your consciousness, are folded energy. When you think a thought, it has folded energy or mass, and it bends the space around it accordingly, creating micro-sized gravity wells. Within your mind, your thought processes, there are trillions upon trillions of micro-gravity wells. Every conscious and subconscious thought that you have ever had in your life, every moment you have lived, you have imprinted the fabric of space. Now, with this knowledge, one begins to understand the purpose of repeating affirmations or holding a vision in your mind and deep contemplative thought. These practices create pressure to bend the space-time fabric. The bending of space by the mind is crucial for holding the new life you want to bring into existence. Otherwise stated, nothing can come to life or continue to live without gravity in its matrix. If I were to say to you, think of the word love, and then repeat the thought, this is how traditional affirmations are executed. Actually, one thought moving through space and time. The immortal scientist understands this single thought creates a single point of failure and can be disrupted by an opposing thought. Within your mind, think of the word love and hate at the same time. You have just disrupted the word love with the word hate, creating a single point of failure. It's just a simple matter of physics. Let's build on this knowledge. Now, I want you to think of the word love in 3 separate places in your mind. What you have just done is create a stronger affirmation within the mind without a single point of failure. However, you have done something else also. Your identical individual thoughts, which have mass or energy, have imprinted space around them in 3 separate locations, creating complementary gravity fields. Otherwise said, the words love and hate generate different gravity fields, thus cannot support one another to build life. Another way to understand this is the science behind group prayer or meditation, where two or more are focused on one objective. Science knows when two particles meet and travel together through space and time, zero resistance is created around them. Immortal scientists refer to this as the duality principle, meaning thoughts are energy particles also, whether generated by two people focused on one objective or one individual with two identical thoughts within their consciousness centered on one outcome. Otherwise stated, both are examples of group prayer, or the effects of group thought that exchange energy between them and have supporting gravity fields that lessen resistance and hasten your affirmations or prayers into reality. Of note, the scientifically supported law of gravity and duality principle unveils the esoteric or secret meaning of teachings from ancient texts referencing the power of two or more being gathered together. The immortal scientist understands that gravity is a foundational law and studies a myriad of ways to fold and bend the space-time fabric. Otherwise known, immortality exists in the mind's ability to magnify gravity and hold energy in form, thus to add more weight to consciousness and conscious thought to impact reality. Many years ago, I had a conversation with a gentleman with a PhD in physics and chemistry whether mind over matter existed, and posed the airplane riddle to him to contemplate. If you were standing in front of a 747 aircraft, which weighs 400,000 pounds when fully loaded, how would you move that aircraft using your own physical strength? No power tools or machinery would be allowed. However, you do have the option of using human-powered tools. There are many solutions to the airplane riddle. So, to that end, we'll provide the answer I came up with. I would use a pickaxe or shovel to dig a hole in front of the tires, allowing the aircraft to roll forward into the hole. What you have just done is to restructure physical reality so the universe performs work on your behalf. Gravity, even from the farthest reaches of space, assisted in moving that aircraft into the hole, which would not be possible when employing limited human strength. The immortal scientist applies these same principles to magnify the laws of physics, such as gravity within the mind. With that explanation, I presented the second part of the riddle to the gentleman. If you imagine that same scenario, an airplane with a hole in front of it is the hole that you see within the mind, just as real as the hole you dug in the physical world? To answer the question, one must understand there are numerous holes or voids that already exist in the mind. There are concept-based holes or voids that exist, such as one's faith being hollowed out by fear, or frequency-based voids, when one may visualize the color red with a yellow dot at its center. And further to that point, emotional holes or voids exist, as one may experience opposing feelings, especially in matters near and dear to their heart. The immortal scientist understands that gravity, holes, or voids, as all the laws of physics are omnipotent and omnipresent to include within the mind. The final information imparted during the discussion addressed the fact that mankind can organize and structure gravity, holes, or voids within their mental processes to ultimately engineer the movement of energy throughout the mind, so that which is within you becomes stronger than the outside world. Otherwise expressed, the immortal scientist must learn to use their minds as empirical laboratories. With that said, the first tool we will experiment with is the mind's inherent ability to bend space and create gravity. If you create a depression in the ground approximately 3 inches deep, you would not expect it to hold much energy. However, if you dig a hole 100 feet deep, you would expect it to confine a much larger volume of energy. The same laws of physics you apply in the physical world also pertain to your inner reality. For the mental experiment to be effective, one would envision a hole of great depth within the mind. Whether realized or not, you have just captured mental energy. However, our experiment needs to produce empirical results. So, we must add more physics to the process. Unless your mind has mass equivalent to that of Earth, it will not contain energy as efficiently. So the immortal scientist mimics the physics of small particles by coiling the deep hole that one imagines. The coiling of the hole allows energy to create spin, which helps to retain the captured energy. We will now build on this knowledge to strengthen the results and apply the techniques to real-world issues. Here is where the immortal scientist implements the duality principle, where two particles that travel together move through space more efficiently. Otherwise stated, the experimenter imagines not just one, but two deep coiled holes weaved together. What you have just accomplished in this experiment is the binding of energy within a weaved gravity well. If one looks throughout nature, you will see this fundamental process as identified in DNA, all initiated by the capture of energy into spin. The immortal scientist uses this weaved energy against a myriad of requirements, from the smallest muscle aches or injuries and warding off viruses to more significant life issues. Practice pushing the weaved energy into the healthy image you want to obtain. An important point to consider is this is a mental technique based upon physics. Otherwise said, when thoughts are based on physics, they become kinetic in nature because physics produces results. When one flips the light switch on, they expect to see light if everything is in order. One does not believe in the light, they know the light. If you believe in a creator, then the laws of physics are the most tangible expression of the omnipotent, omnipresent intelligence. In other words, one communes with the universe when mentally applying the laws of physics. As you begin to apply the techniques, one will find it does not take a special mindset. You just imagine the weaves working against the target. However, if you choose to focus and meditate, it will hasten the transition into reality. It's all about the capturing and accumulating the weaved energy. The preference is yours. The mind is an amazing instrument, and as one garners more information, profound connections will be made, which coalesce into sublime knowledge. and finally culminate into wisdom. When one verbalizes an affirmation in the mind, they are activating a distinct function within the brain. The same applies when you visualize healing. The immortal scientist knows that although discrete functions, both mental activities must maintain a synchronized intent. One cannot execute an affirmation verbalizing total health while seeing and supporting an image that reflects a lack of well-being. Otherwise said, all thoughts, whether visual or verbal, have energy and gravity within their matrix. Thus, will impact one's entire physiological and mental processes. It is extremely difficult for a divided mind to utilize the duality principle and magnify affirmations or energy and gravity weaves. Now, based upon this fundamental knowledge, we can execute kinetic thought fusion techniques. Choose a modest health goal you would like to achieve. Now, hold a vision of that target in your mind. Next, simultaneously visualize energy gravity weaves integrated throughout your healthy vision. These weaved gravity wells are pulling energy into the target. Now, let's amplify the power of your vision by synchronizing the mind. One must perform a duality affirmation consisting of two or more identical thoughts that imprint the fabric of space and allows energy to flow into and intensify within one another. As you practice these fused techniques, your mind will begin to make inner connections. However, to expedite the process, I will convey a few significant points. The affirmations do not only keep the mind conceptually focused, but also serve as energy generators, which feed into the energy gravity weaves within the mind. One must remember the laws of physics are omnipotent and omnipresent, even within your thought processes. Your thoughts impact reality. The affirmations make the weaves vibrate, the same way sound assisted in initiating the Big Bang. Otherwise expressed, the affirmations drive your healthy image into physical reality. As mankind grasps the immortal sciences, we will conquer ourselves and lead one another to a supernatural world. In closing, always remember, only your thoughts separate you from the Creator, the universe, and eternity.